what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellen if you're new here. Today we're going to be doing this Valentine's Day look, which I am super excited about. I'm really looking forward to this video because we are using a ton of Charlotte Tilbury products, and I find that she just has the perfect shades for Valentine's Day. Especially her Pillow Talk line, a lot of them are kind of like those pinky romantic shades, so that's kind of what we're going for today, and if you guys are interested in that, then just keep watching. So I'm going to start off by using a Charlotte Tilbury product. This is her Hollywood Flawless Filter. This stuff is beautiful on the skin. It adds such a beautiful glow. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the cheeks. And we just kind of want it to blend out, kind of prime the skin. This stuff just gives such a nice illuminating glow to your skin. I've used it underneath foundation. I've also used it on top of foundation as more of like a subtle highlight, but I do find that it adds something to your foundation if you put it underneath, so I do like using it underneath my foundation. So now that we've prepped the skin, I'm gonna go in with my Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I'm just gonna apply little dots all over my face, and then it'll evenly kind of distribute a little bit better once I go in and blend it out. This foundation's beautiful. I just find that it adds such a nice silky satin finish. The coverage, I would say, is light medium, but it's buildable, and it just looks kind of like your skin. So now I'm just gonna quickly go in and spot treat my face. I'm gonna use just my MAC concealer pot. I use this for all of my little blemishes on my face. It adds some really good heavy coverage, so I'm just gonna go in kind of around my nose. Find that I get pretty red around there. Just have a couple little red dots on my face. And then the next thing I'm going to use is my Charlotte Tilbury Eye Corrector. I have this in the shade Medium. I find that this is just magic. Like, it really does just kind of get rid of any darkness under your eyes and preps your eye before you put your concealer on. So it just is a really good little primer. It's kind of like a peachy tone, so it cancels out any of that darkness you might be seeing, especially on the inner corner of your eye. This one has the corrector, this one doesn't. You just want to be careful that you aren't using too much of this, but just enough to kind of neutralize your eye, because you're going to be going in with concealer after, so it's just best if you limit the amount that you're putting on. So now that I've got that on, I'm going to go in with my Nars Creamy Radiant Concealer, and this is in the shade Custard. I'm just going to put a little bit on the inner corner and lifting up. I always like to finish it off with my beauty blender just to kind of diffuse it out a little bit. Just gonna put a little bit on the center of my nose. So next I'm just gonna use my MAC Prolong Paint Pot. This is in the shade Soft Ochre. It's kind of like a yellowy tone, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on my eyelids just to prep them, and just use my finger. I find it just kind of neutralizes the base a bit for when you're going to put on your eyeshadow, and it also helps keep your eyeshadow more locked in, kind of avoids creasing. I'm gonna do a little bit of cream contouring, so I'm just gonna be using my NYX Wonder Stick. This is a really good contour stick, I find. It's very cool toned. I'm just gonna start on the inner corner of my nose and bring it down the center. Same thing on the other side. And then I like to do a little V, and then we're also gonna do a little bit just where my cheekbones kind of start. I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush, start pressing that in. As you can see, it's still pretty crazy. So I just like to take the back of my beauty blender and start pressing it down. Pretty much pressing it in until it's like my desired shade. I kind of like to press it up a bit instead of down. You want it to kind of be more of like a lifted look. So pressing it into the hairline and upwards. Just the problem areas around my face where I use the MAC concealer pot, I'm just gonna go in with my MAC Studio Fix and just my little mini Sephora brush, and I'm just gonna tap a little bit and then basically apply around my nose. This just kind of locks in your heavy concealer while also providing a little bit extra coverage. So next I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I love this stuff, it's amazing. It's in the shade 2 Medium, and I'm just gonna use just kind of a smaller fluffy brush and apply this underneath my eyes, pretty much where I applied the Nars concealer. Also just put on the eyelids, a bit on the center part of my nose and forehead, pretty much everywhere. But this stuff is just beautiful. It gives you such a nice soft focus to your skin. Just kind of like ties in everything. It's really nice. So the next thing I'm gonna be using is my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. I'm gonna be using a Sephora Pro Contour brush, and I'm just gonna start kind of going in the areas where I contoured, a bit on the forehead, around my nose, chin, and just start working a circular motion. This is a really nice bronzer though, it's buildable. I find that I have some bronzers that are just so aggressive once you put it on your brush and then you put it on your face and you're just like, oh my god. But this stuff is pretty forgiving. I find that you can just kind of keep building and building, and it's not going to be totally crazy once you apply it. Use a bit more of a fluffy brush just on my forehead, blend it in a bit nicer. And then I'm just gonna go in with my little flatter brush, and just kind of where I contoured my nose, I'm gonna go over it with the powder now. Kind of push it on into the inner corners of my eyes just to fully blend it. And then I will take my fluffy brush and just kind of blend it all in. So next we're gonna go in with blush. We're gonna be using Charlotte Tilbury shade Ecstasy. This stuff's interesting because when I was in the store, it looked really neutral and like light, but when I was looking at all the Sephora reviews, it was saying everybody had such good reviews about this shade. So I just picked it up, and when I brought it home, I was really surprised because like there's way more color to it than I was expecting. So I'm a big fan of this blush. So I'm just gonna apply it to the apples and a little bit lifted on my cheeks. Then I'm just gonna, I like to kind of blend it out a bit with my bigger brush just to diffuse it. And then I'm just gonna go back in with my big fluffy brush and my bronzer just to kind of blend the two a bit. I just love bronzer. I could keep applying this all the time. And then I'm just gonna bring it down my neck as well. Okay, a little more blush. Okay, moving on to brows. I just got my brows laminated for the very first time, and I actually love it. I find that it gives me so much more fullness, and I think I'm just too much of a chicken to do like the microblading, but this makes it a lot easier, I find. So I just brushed up my brows. Apparently the girl that did my brows, she told me that I have a scar right here, which makes sense because I have a bald spot. So I'm just gonna draw in some hairs. And then I'm just gonna draw a bit of a clean line, 2/3 to 1/3 of my outer eye. We'll do this side as well. Also didn't mention that I am using Benefit Brow Precision My Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade Medium Brown. I think that's as good as they're gonna get. So now that I've filled them in, I'm just gonna go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and I'm just gonna make sure that they're set in place. So just brushing up and then kind of at a 45-degree angle. So now for the fun part, we're gonna be doing eyes, and we're gonna be using Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk palette. This is such a perfect palette for Valentine's Day just because there's so many like pinky tones in here. We're gonna have fun. So to start, I'm just gonna use the Day Neutral kind of pinky shade here. We're gonna start with this on the eyelids. Such a pretty pinky color. And just kind of diffusing it out as we get higher. It's so pretty. I'm just gonna take my Sephora angled brush, and I'm gonna take the darkest shade from the Date section, pile that on my brush, and we're gonna just kind of make like a fake brown eyeliner. So I'm gonna look down. Draw it out like that. And then I'm gonna line a third out from my eye. It's gonna be a little rough, but we're gonna blend it. So now I'm just gonna use a smudge brush just to soften it. And then I like to use a Q-tip for precision, so just kind of cleaning up the line a bit. So I'm gonna go in and do the other eye. Just go in with my trusty Q-tip. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the medium Date shade with my smudge brush, and we're gonna kind of blend it above the line we just created. So we're gonna use the pinky shade from Dream. It's the first one here. And we're just gonna kind of start blending just above the eyelid and stop where the line is. And then I'm gonna take my ring finger, go in with the medium shade for Day, and we're gonna do the middle part of my eyelid. And then using a clean finger, so just my middle finger, I'm gonna use the very first shade, and we're gonna do the inner corners of my eye. I find that using your finger with the Charlotte Tilbury more metallic shades works way better than a brush. And then one of the last things that I like to do is just go back in with my Airbrush Flawless Finish powder and just use a flat brush and kind of clean up underneath and just above my brow bone. Do the same thing on this side. So now that that's done, we're just gonna go in and set everything. I'm gonna be using Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Just spraying away. Just using my eyelash curler. Next, I'm gonna be using my Pillow Talk Push Up Lashes Mascara. We're gonna just start coating my lashes. And then we're just gonna go in and do lower lashes. Okay, so last but not least, we're just gonna finish off with lips. And we are going to use Pillow Talk Medium Lip Pencil and just kind of outline a little bit above my lip line, just on the top part. So yeah, I'm just keeping the lip pencil more close to the line of my lip here. I find this is nice when you use a lip liner just to like tighten up your edges a bit. And then we're also gonna use the Pillow Talk Medium Lipstick as well from Charlotte Tilbury. So this is the final look. She definitely has just such beautiful shades and tones to her makeup, and I find that it has such a lit from within look, all of her products. The glow on it is just kind of like a candlelit glow, and you just can't deny really good products. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you! Mwah!